Imagine being so thoroughly humiliated by your own mother that you start wondering if you even have the right to exist, let alone rule a kingdom. That is the actual psychological state of Charles VII of France in 1429, and it is the key to understanding why a teenage peasant girl from nowhere walked into his court and changed history. Before we talk about Joan of Arc, we need to talk about the broken man she walked up to. Charles became the Dauphin in 1417 after the deaths of his brothers, inheriting chaos that would have shattered most people. But the worst blow didn't come from the English. It came from his own mother. In 1420, the Treaty of Troyes handed the French royal succession directly to Henry IV of England, who signed it, his mother, Isabeau of Bavaria. By disinheriting her son, she subsequently, if unintentionally, admitted to infidelity and raised the question of his illegitimacy. In plain terms, she handed his enemies a weapon. The suggestion that he might not be the real king's son, that he was perhaps nobody. Picture carrying that. Not just losing a war, not just losing land, but waking up every morning unsure whether your own blood gives you any right to be there. His armies were mercenaries and scraps. He remained south of the Loire, periodically considering flight to the Iberian Peninsula. His enemies mocked him as the King of Bourges, a sarcastic nickname for a man who ruled barely a sliver of his own country. And Orléans, the last major city defending the heart of his territory, was under English siege. Then Joan arrived. To test her claims, Charles hid among his courtiers and dressed a noble in royal robes as a decoy. Joan walked past the fake king and stepped directly up to the real Charles in his disguise. Then she pulled him aside and told him a secret, something he had only ever said in a silent prayer to God. Contemporary chronicles describe it as a thing that none could know save God and himself. For a man drowning in self-doubt, that was not just impressive. That was the answer to a prayer, literally. She gave him permission to believe he was chosen, that his crown was real. He sent her to Orléans. She forced the English to abandon the siege. She led a march through enemy territory to Reims, and on July 17, 1429, Charles VII was crowned in the cathedral. The boy who wasn't sure he had the right to be king stood there and was crowned, because a girl who heard voices told him God said so, and he was just desperate enough, just wounded enough, just human enough to believe her. That's the real story, not the miracle. The psychology behind why one broken man needed a miracle badly enough to let it change the world. If this kind of deep dive is your thing, hit subscribe, because we are just getting started.